Yes, sir.
Yes,
So that,
absolutely.
Yeah.
so that brings us into our next topic, man, and the the famous and at the same time infamous Kevin Samuels, otherwise known as the Godfather. So, what do y'all think, man? Is Kevin Samuels too hard on his callers?
I don't. That might be a loaded question because look, if you look at because people have, I feel like people have a misunderstanding of Kevin Samuels because in today's culture, everything is accepted. Everybody is basically has to be crazy nice to each other, and sometimes the truth can get overlooked because we have to be this so accepting society. But um, I feel like this man tells the truth. I don't agree with everything that he says. Let me just say that first and foremost. I don't agree with everything that he says, but the stuff that people disagree with, it seems like that he is right about. Like some people have too high of an expectation on their soulmates when they're not in the place where they need to be at currently.
That's very
So
true.
I don't think he's too hard on his clients. I think he's just telling the truth, and it's a blunt delivery. But sometimes that's the best way to get the truth, because even though it comes off as hard, it's real.
Yeah, that's valid points. What do you
Yeah.
think, DJ?
I don't really watch Kevin Samuels often. I've just seen like some of the popular memes and
You seen the good
short
ones
videos
and the
that
juicy
come
ones.
out. Yeah, in which I mean, speaking from that perspective, I mean, I think delivery is very key in how you advise people.
Very
Um,
true.
it's very important, what your method of approach with that. But I mean, to be honest, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So if any of his callers have issues with his delivery, then don't call.
Well, as Kevin Samuels would say,
Right,
no, that's a
exactly.
fact, ma'am. That's like one of his most famous lines. Like, because when people say your opinion, he says, "No, that's a fact." That's one of his things.
That's a
I
fact.
feel you though. I feel
Yeah.
you though. What do you
That's
think
it.
of Will?
Um,
Is he too hard on his callers, man?
so when it comes down to is he too hard on his callers, I I don't. I mean, it's very weird to say that someone's too hard on people when you've seen, you know what to expect, and yet you still call this person. It's like you walk into someone's house, they kick you in the chest, and you just come back to their house the next day and wonder why they keep kicking you in the chest. That's how they greet you,
Yep.
by kicking you in the chest. If you don't want to get kicked in your chest, stop pulling up to their crib. It's very weird to me. Now, as far as the way that what he does and how he communicates and, like you said, his delivery to people, um, I don't know if it's always necessary. I believe that if you feel as though that you are this person who is this high value in the way that you feel about yourself, people could feel it and they can sense it. Like, you don't gotta walk around with the tag hanging off your shirt for people to know, like, oh, this is what this person is worth. Now, if you don't believe that you're worth that, you might want to leave that tag on your shirt so that someone else could believe it. You might have stole that shirt. But if you really know what your worth is, and you really believe and you really live this worth, and you really know it, you don't need to tell anyone. You really don't need to tell anyone. People could sense it. They could smell it in the air. It's potent.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I can't imagine saying that he's hard on his callers. I think if anyone calls into my show to get my opinion about something, even if I'm presenting it as a fact, you know how I am, and you called me for advice. Period. It doesn't matter if I'm lying about the facts or not. You called me for my advice, right? I didn't tell you use me as a source to get your, whatever you needed. You chose this, right? If I buy a pair of jeans and I'm like, yo, I don't like these, and I'm calling Levi to tell him how much I don't like, it's like I bought those. Like, I was a personal choice. It was some other pairs right there and other brands that I could have went with. I chose this one. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say he's too hard, but I 100% agree with DJ. Like, if you truly want advice to be well received, delivery is key, which is why I think his delivery will definitely work on some people. Because some people, it's like that idea of tough love, right? Some people actually respond to someone checking them and not just saying, like, being their friend. But I think you will lose others, right? So that's like the best place, I think, is to try to find a middle ground in there somewhere. Like, you hit them with some hard truths and you maybe pull back a little bit and say, hey, let's move this out. Make sure you understand. Give you some great tips on how to get there. Instead of be like, you're a mess. Like, that's not as helpful and constructive. And it's telling everyone to get counseling. People do need counseling. I'm not going to shy away from that concept. Especially some people I've seen on that show. It's just like, what is your life, man?
He does encourage therapy.
Extremely interesting. But when he did the show, when he was doing the guys, I was thinking like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, people we know need to get it together, and that's probably why they're calling the type of show like this, which is good start. But yeah, his delivery is rough. But I don't think he's too hard. It's his personal opinion, and don't call him if you don't want to hear it.
It's his show.
Period. So don't tell me how to run my show. You can give me ideas and suggestions. I'm gonna take it just as ideas and suggestions. Like, same way you could take my advice is my ideas and suggestions to you. Like, so, you know, deal with that how you will. But so why do y'all think why do a lot of women hate Kevin Samuels?
I think it goes back to what I said a little bit earlier about everything being accepted in today's society. So when you hear something that you don't necessarily want to hear, and I feel like a lot of these women who don't like Kevin Samuels are watching one video and just saying, "Oh no, I'm not listening to this because he can't be talking to her like that." But he talks to men like that. You've seen videos where he's checking men as the same way he's checked women. It's just the harsh reality, I guess, of his message. But I feel like it's just a little bit of ignorance on their part because they're not fully familiar with him. And when he asks these women who don't like him, why you don't like him, they'll say, "Oh, well, I saw you say this," and then he'll ask, "Did you watch the full video as to why I said that? Did you see what I said after that?" And they'll be like, "No." So yeah, it's a little bit of ignorance because you didn't do your homework. That they I mean, it's just like a running headline in a newspaper. Like, a newspaper will take a clip of something, make it the main topic, but completely miss all of the juicy details behind that topic. And sometimes it gets misconstrued. And I feel like this is in a similar regard.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't agree with referencing how he's advising men. Just because personally, I think that how you address men and women should be different. I mean, don't say, okay, I'm going to give the truth to one and the false to another person,
Right.
but just the delivery and the way that you present information, I think that it should be different. Personally, but I don't like this just goes back to the other answer that I said about delivery. I mean, like, I think that they're probably hating him because of his delivery. Like I said, I don't really watch his show, but I think that would go into what I'm hearing from you guys about, what people are saying. It's delivery.
Yeah, delivery is a rough one. What
It's a
about you,
rough
Will?
I personally, on this one right here, I don't see any reason why women should be hating him. Just ignore him.
Yeah,
I
that's
look
what
at
you
more. It's not even that deep.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say. I mean, I think it really is that cut and dry. I know why a lot of women hate him. Some people don't like delivery. Some people may not like to hear the truth. I think at certain times, all of us may have heard a truth that we didn't want to hear or want to accept. That you have to eventually learn to accept to move past whatever it is that you were dealing with at that time, right? So sometimes that can be difficult too. So it could be a few reasons why, but Ultimately, I think if it's for the reasons like you were saying, Steph, you watched a 15-second clip or a 30-second clip, and now you're judging this character, that's kind of foolishness, right? If I don't read the newspaper and just only go through the paper and read headlines, now I don't know what the story actually is, right? Or if I just only read that one story, never look at another source, that's also a problem, right? Like you said, because what if that story misses the important parts too? So it's like, you can't do that either. But it could be a few reasons, but overall, I don't know.
It's
But,
like watching a trailer. It's like watching a trailer and think, well, I know what the movie is about. I know everything that's going to happen.
Exactly.
Well, if you look at it from my perspective, you have.
Well, DJ, yeah, I know
trailers.
you hate
I'm
trailers.
team no trailer.
You team
They're
no trailers?
making them longer now.
Yeah.
That's the opposite direction.
It's insane. I can't do
Yo,
it. Like, if I can't tell that I like the movie from
30 seconds or less?
Yes.
20 seconds or
30
less might
seconds.
be
They're
enough.
like minutes now.
They're
like 2 minutes.
2.5
Yeah,
minutes
like 2
for trailers.
That's
I
insane.
saw the movie Tenet. Shout out to Tenet being one of the worst movies that we've ever watched. It was so convoluted and complicated unnecessarily. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to touch the acting. I just want to talk about when I saw the preview, they had the best scenes in that preview. But the story and the rest of it was just
That was
like
it.
Crazy.
it's like brain fried. That's how I felt after watching that joint. I'm gonna rewatch it just to give it another take, but I don't know about that one. But anyway, so y'all think he'll get canceled at some point overall? Or y'all think he's just out of here next year?
And yeah, I think it might be inevitable, honestly, because he's probably too blunt for today's society. He's an older gentleman, so his delivery is probably, is what has delivery would be.
You better start claiming that old age joint. You protecting classes now, so protect them old people. Like,
Hey, it's nothing wrong with being old. You're just wiser. So
well, you should be. It's a difference.
yeah,
Some people just get old.
Some people just get old.
I didn't
Shout
want
out
to
to
say
all the
that.
old
You
people
said
out
that.
there.
I didn't say that.
Team up with some wise people. But
It might be true though.
like, so you think it's inevitable? What about you, DJ?
I really can't speak on it based on my knowledge of his show, but I can tell you what, people who are getting bad mouth a lot, it doesn't take much to get them out the door.
Yeah. What about you, Will?
I don't know if he'll get canceled in this day and age. Because things could go really either way. Some people love to hate so much that they might just keep him around just so they could continue hating him. But some people might just say, you know what? We might need to do away with him just because we don't need anyone to think that this is what we need more of. Do I believe he should be canceled? Absolutely not. I don't think that anybody should get canceled for speaking their mind. If you have a problem with what he said, like I said last round, turn him off. Yeah. Like why? Like just turn him off. There's a million things that I disagree with, and you know what? I just don't watch him. I tune out. You don't get my attention because if you hate him this much, you talking about him more. You're creating more of a conversation, and you're only making his platform even larger. So if like you have a big problem with him, just agree to just not even pay attention to him. Like whatever platform you have, you should be able to have that platform exist in this country. Period.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think if your platform is not hate speech, like literally telling people, inciting violence,
right?
Like you should be able to say whatever ludicrous comment comes to your mind. Mm-hmm. You should be able to say it and spout it. And if people are willing to call in and participate with you, that's consent. That is the definition of consent. That's like someone coming to my house and saying, "Is Brandon Patterson home?" I'm like, "Yeah, what you want, punk?" You're like, "Oh, he accosted me." It's like, how? Like you came to my house and asked for me specifically.
Why you put the emphasis on consent like that? Nah, that's mad funny.
Like,
I'm sorry.
it was on my soldiers now, man. Because I wholeheartedly, and the whole time, Will, I wanted to go get the box so you can stand up and be heard because That's so major. I'm so big on freedom of speech, and I just feel like it's definitely a potential he could be canceled. It's definitely. I wouldn't say inevitable. I know why you're saying it. I would just say potential because I know you have to be so careful about what you post and what you talk about. You know, it's like last episode when we talked about a sensitive topic of vaccinations and things. You have to be careful on that because somebody might try to say you're spreading misinformation just because you shared your opinion about something. That's so dangerous and counterintuitive to freedom of speech. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you don't want freedom of speech, there are plenty of places in the world. We talked about it on episode 1, where a place where people were jumping on airplanes to get away from that level of censorship. And here we are as a culture trying to move towards that scary level of censorship where, I mean, because getting canceled from something like what he does, that's his job. That's his job now. That's like a source of income, his revenue. You know, he can't, if he can't monetize this talent that he has of speaking, public speaking, because it is a talent. You know, whether you like his talent or not, it's a talent that he has. So it just becomes dangerous. But I don't know. He might or may not. But we'll just have to see how it goes, man. Shout out to the Godfather, man. Good luck. On your
Yeah, I'm
freedom of
hoping he
speech
doesn't
journey.
get canceled.
You said
Yeah, no, I really am. He's good entertainment. I'm not gonna lie.
he's hilarious. I can't say I watch him every day or anything like that, but he entertains me. But
Right.